is residing there with a woman called, well, I won't name names, but a female PNG resident who has a very close relationship with Wapu Sonk. No way that a subcontractor of PNG's national oil company should be giving their private residence, multi-million-dollar residence, to Wapu Sonk, the MD of this national oil company.
Welcome back, everyone. Today, we dive into allegations of corruption against Wapu Sonk, former managing director of Kumul Petroleum in Papua New Guinea. Evidence suggests he misused power for personal gain. From shady contracts with a Chinese company to living in a multi-million-dollar Brisbane property owned by a subcontractor. Without further ado, let's jump in.
Interest. But at its heart, this is a story about a powerful person, Wapu Sonk, allegedly abusing his power to line his own pockets. How did he do this? Well, the evidence suggests or points to, and at the moment it's allegations, but these are allegations backed up by documentary evidence. What do we see in that documentary evidence? We see that Kumul Petroleum, the entity that Wapu Sonk wields huge power over, told a Chinese government company, you ought to use two private companies in Australia. Now, one of those private companies is owned by Wapu Sonk privately. The evidence shows, I think, at least on paper, Kumul Petroleum using its power, its sway over this Chinese entity to award a contract to Wapu Sonk in a way that's totally inappropriate for a state-owned enterprise to do. It's as simple as that. But it goes deeper and further. The documentary evidence suggests that there has been negotiations between this Chinese government pipeline company and Kumul to set about this arrangement, which leads to questions. Who was doing this dealing behind the scenes? Who in Kumul was proposing that Wapu Sonk's private company, Australia, get benefits as part of this deal making? Was it Wapu himself? Was it his agents within Kumul? Now, whoever it was, it is clearly inappropriate, but these are questions that must be answered. Wapu Sonk is residing in a multi-million-dollar property in Brisbane. He's residing there with a woman called, well, I won't name names, but a female PNG resident who has a very close relationship with Wapu Sonk. We saw her living there. She was exiting the property. Now, that property is owned by another subcontractor of Kumul Petroleum. There is no way that a subcontractor of PNG's national oil company should be giving their private residence, multi-million-dollar residence, to Wapu Sonk, the MD of this national oil company, for his personal benefit. Is he paying rent? If so, is it at market rates? Regardless of whether he is or isn't, it's a clear conflict of interest. Now, if we take these two examples, a contract being funneled to a Wapu Sonk privately owned business, a multi-million-dollar property that Wapu Sonk is using, if those two things are happening, what else is happening? What other alleged corruption is occurring? Who else is involved in it? What about the board of Kumul Petroleum? What about those PNG politicians meant to be keeping an eye on Kumul? What are they doing? What about the Australians involved? We have players in Australia who are deeply involved in both these arrangements I've just described. One of them, his name is Jason Pollock. He's a senior project manager at Kumul Petroleum. You know, he's effectively a public servant of the people of PNG. It looks like he not only cooked up a deal in which Wapu Sonk could profit, but he himself stood to benefit from this same deal. Where's the accountability around him and his conduct? So who's going to investigate? And if that investigation takes place, will it be thorough? Where's the Australian Federal Police in all this? Where is the PNG ICAC? And of course, we know the PNG ICAC is a disaster, a basket case at the moment. I mean, ultimately, this comes down to the people of PNG having their resources and their money and their rights protected. In this case, though, seems to have been squashed. So who's going to be held to account?
After these allegations, Wapu Sonk was urged by Marape to step down. On the 18th of July 2025, Wapu Sonk voluntarily stepped down as the managing director of Kumul Petroleum. This begs the question, is stepping down a sign of guilt or integrity? Make sure to subscribe and comment your thoughts below. Until then, we see you in the next video.